I think the only relationship between gender and sexuality between humans is just that we all have that. Like, you're either gay or you're either a man, and that's how it like, it sinks in. But I think people get confused between sexuality and gender because they think, oh, since you're a man or you identify as a man, you should like a female or like a woman. But it typically and always doesn't work that way. I mean, there's so much of a spectrum out there in the world that it necessarily doesn't and will never work that way, because many people identify very differently and they like very different things. I think American culture is heteronormative because that is just the norm that we have created since the olden day, like back in the 1920s and back in the old day. That is what we set as a normative, and it's always been like that, and I don't think it will ever change because it's just so engraved in our culture to be that way. And I think that men and are the ones that benefit the most out of this, because it's just, if you're a man and you're straight, everything is okay for you. And it's so much easier. Things are so much easier for you to get by, and just for that. And I mean, as a woman, you kind of become second in this heteronormative world, because then everything else kind of falls into, so you're a woman and you must do this because you're that. And they don't see it as other ways of like, oh, you're a woman, you're capable of doing many more other things. So yeah, I just think men in general who are straight and, well, cis heteronormative men are the ones that probably get most out of this. And I think the people that suffer the most in this heteronormative world is people of color, queer people, and women are the ones that suffer the most, because they're the ones that aren't the norm or aren't considered the norm, and there's something completely different. And that's what I think, that they suffer the most because they're just completely different. The different norms of sexual behavior used to socially control males and females who have sex in America. I think the norms that we have for that sexual behavior that controls males and females, it's just like the whole standard of, well, are you a virgin? If you're a virgin, then you're fine if you're a woman, but that's it. Like, I just personally think that's personally it. The power dynamics in my home is, I live with my mom, my sister, and her boyfriend. And the person that makes the major decisions in that household group is my sister's boyfriend. Even thought he came along to live with us later in life. He's the one that makes the most decisions there, because he makes the most income, and he pays for the rent. So he makes all the decisions, and we all kind of go with him. Like, big decisions. He makes the big decisions, like who lives here, how much rent is, or if I like that or I don't like that. And then everybody else just kind of does everything else. And he's the one that does the most work outside of home. He works the most. He brings in the most money. So he's the one that gets to make all the choices. And the person that works most inside of my home is my mom, because she's a stay-at-home grandma. So she cleans, she washes, she does the food, she does everything that has to be inside the house. She does that. And she also takes care of my sister's kids. The person that has most prestige in my family has to be my sister's boyfriend, just because he makes the most money, and yeah, it's just because of that. He comes home tired, we all have to like cater around him. The norms in my family, I guess, it is very much just like the social construction of gender. It's just the man makes the most, he makes the bread, so he gets to do nothing at home while everybody else kind of like does everything. And like, I know that my mom does majority of the work, but if she doesn't, ends up doing something, that either falls on me or my sister, who still work but still don't work as much as he does. So yeah, that is that.